I said it, and this sums it up well. Like you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. A lion's riding a bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree. So you just hope that people can be smart enough and have a tremendous amount of logic to just go and possibly do research.
So Katt Williams and Kevin Hart are back at it with their ongoing beef. The drama escalated recently when Williams appeared on Shannon Sharpe's podcast Club Shay and went off on a rant. In the almost 3-hour episode, he didn't hold back, taking jabs at Steve Harvey, Michael Blackson, Rickey Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer. And of course, Williams didn't forget about Hart, suggesting he's some industry plant who lied about the start of his career. These two have been going at each other for years, throwing shade online and in interviews. Check out the whole saga of their never-ending feud. So Katt Williams, born Michael Williams on September 2 and 1971, is an American comedian. An actor, you might remember him as Money Mike in Friday After Next or from his recurring gigs on Wild and Out and My Wife and Kids. He's been all over, lending his voice to characters like a pimp named Slickback in The Boondocks and Seamus in Cats and Dogs, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. Oh, and he even voiced himself in Grand Theft Auto 4 back in 2008. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, Katt was raised by Jehovah's Witness parents in Dayton. Things got complicated because his dad wasn't too keen on a life outside the religion. So at the ripe age of 13, Katt decided to break free, moved to Florida, and hustled as a street vendor. He even went through a rough patch of homelessness, crashing at a park. Now here's a wild fact: Katt was reading at 3, speaking multiple languages including French and Creole. That's not your usual childhood, right? He started his comedy journey in Cincinnati's Avondale neighborhood, polishing his acting clubs all over the country. By 1999, he was already a big deal, hitting up venues like the Improv, the Comedy Club, the Ice House, and the Hollywood Park Casino. You might remember him from BET's Comic View as Katt, The Hat Will Williams. In 2006, he dropped his first comedy special, Let a Plier Play, and followed it up with The Pimp Chronicles PT1 on HBO. The Guy Was on Fire, co-writing and starring in Katt Williams' American Hustle. Lee in 2007, that film put him on the mainstream comedy map. He kept the laughs coming with its Pimping in 2008, earning the title of the Best Comedy Tour of the Year by Billboard. After a bit of a break, Katt made a stand-up comeback in 2012 with Calypso. But things got a bit rocky in 2012 after an incident in a Seattle bar landed him in jail. He declared the end of his stand-up career but pulled a fast one on US 3 days later, saying he wasn't retiring after all. He went on the Growth Spurt tour in 2013 and dropped Katt Williams' Priceless Afterlife on HBO in 2014, directed by none other than Spike Lee. Fast forward to 2018, he released Great America on Netflix, shot in Jacksonville, Florida, and in 2022, he's back on Netflix with World War II. The man just keeps us laughing. On the other hand, we got Kevin Hart, a comedy veteran that's been around for as long as we can remember. Kevin Darnell Hart, born in Philly on July 6, 1979 to Nancy Hart and Henry Robert Witherspoon. Sadly, his mom passed away in 2007, and his childhood wasn't a walk in the park. Raised by his mom in a single-parent household, his dad battled cocaine addiction and spent a good chunk of time behind bars. Tough times, right? But things started looking up when his dad kicked the addiction. Kevin's schooling journey included George Washington High School, a brief stint at the Community College of Philly, which didn't last long, and then he hit the road to New York City. Rumors said he lived in Broxton, Massachusetts, but Kev set the record straight. He never lived there. He did, however, rock a gig as a shoe salesman for a bit. Now, let's talk career. Kev's comedy debut went down at the Laugh House in Philly, and he went by Lil Kev. But here's the kicker: it didn't exactly go smoothly. Booze and even a flying piece of chicken were involved. After a rocky start, he hopped into comedy competitions around Massachusetts, gradually winning over the crowd. It took time for Kev to find his groove, steering away from imitating folks like Chris Tucker and diving deep into his own life's ups and downs. The comedy tours kicked off in 2009 with I'm a Grown Little Man, followed by Seriously Funny in 2010, Laugh at My Pain in 2011, and Let Me Explain in 2013. Those last two even made it to movie theaters and raked in over $15 million for Laugh at My Pain. Kev's not just about stand-up, he's got a game on iTunes called Little Jumpman and a social media empire connected to it. In 2015, Kev hit the road again with the What Now tour, turning it into a comedy film. Kevin Hart, What Now, released in 2016. Picture this: 53,000 people, Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, and the camera's rolling. That's how he does it now. As we dive into the next chapter, it's essential to unravel the long-standing history of tension between Kevin Hart and Katt Williams. Their paths, although distinct, have been intertwined in the world of comedy for nearly a decade, from Katt Williams' provocative comments on various platforms to Kevin Hart's measure-meet responses. The comedic landscape has witnessed a feud that simmered beneath the surface, occasionally boiling over into public exchanges. So let's rewind the clock and explore the twists and turns of a rivalry that has kept the entertainment industry buzzing for nearly 10 years. So when Katt Williams was throwing shade, he didn't forget to take a swipe at Kevin Hart, all while calling out athletes like Shaquille O'Neal trying their hand at comedy. It was one of those moments when he wasn't holding back. Back in August 2014, Katt Williams didn't mince words when TMZ Sports asked him about the funniest athlete. He straight up called Shaquille O'Neal a bum and brought Kevin Hart into the mix. The sparks were flying early on in this feud.
Like, do you think Shaq could be a stand-up comedian? Who do you think?
I think that Shaq and Russell Simmons should get out of comedy and stay in their lane. They don't see us making a league of professional basketball players under 6 foot. So what qualifies these dudes because they got $100 million to come over in comedy and do Shaq's All-Star? Get out of here, you bum.
That's right.
Before I take the rest of you girls. Like you took Kevin Hart from me. I want my bitch back.
Then, in 2016, Katt referred to Kevin Hart as a puppet during a comedy tour stop in Atlanta. Back in February 2016, during his conspiracy theory tour stop at Atlanta's Phillips Arena, Katt Williams didn't shy away from bringing up Kevin Hart. As reported by Vibe, Williams made it clear that he's proven himself in comedy and took a jab at Hart, even suggesting that if Hart is a puppet, it's not his fault. He urged people not to hate on a black man hustling, even if he's not their cup of tea. Williams went on comparing himself to other black comedians and emphasizing that just because he might be better in some folks' eyes, it doesn't mean he's dissing the others. To put it in his words, it's like getting mad at Kermit the Frog when you should really be directing that anger at Jim Henson, or saying forget it, Donald Duck, when it's really Walt Disney you're upset with. I've already proven that if the best they got in comedy is Kevin Hart, don't you boo a black man working hard, baby, even if that is a puppet? It's not his fault. We don't get mad just because I'm better than some black dudes doesn't mean I'm better than no black dudes. I'm saying, if you want to be mad at Kermit the Frog, don't be mad at Kermit the Frog, be mad at Jim Henson. Don't say if Donald Duck when you really mean if Walt Disney. According to the reports, Kevin Hart responded in a more subtle manner on Instagram. He posted a pic from the 2016 Academy Awards, featuring himself, Dave Chappelle, and Chris Rock, emphasizing the importance of comedy in sticking together and supporting each other. In his post, Hart highlighted the shared journey of making it to a level of success that not many comedians achieve. The feud had its moments, and this was one of them. Me and Dave Chappelle with our brother Chris Rock tonight at the Oscars. True professionals understand the importance of sticking together and supporting one another. At the end of the day, we are comedians, and there aren't many that make it to the level that we have made it, but so many do. Ears are open from the success of one comedian, and when you see those doors open, you then have the opportunity to walk through them. It's about helping one another, not trying to tear each other down. The insecure ones will never understand that support and encouragement. Back in 2016, Katt Williams didn't let up in his ongoing feud with Kevin Hart.